a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Thank you so much for spending some time with us here on the program today. We have Mike Murphy back in studio, Murphy Auto Group. We're going to talk about his recent purchase of an Infiniti dealership, an affordable way to buy a vehicle, or actually leasing, and also another rate trick as well, something that you can do to help save some principal payments. We also have George Dotis from the LBC. That's the restaurant where we're hosting our holiday party coming up here, our Consumer Quarterback Show and the Platinum MVP Team holiday party. Going to be in the LBC in Palm Harbor this year. We're going to talk with him, as well as executive coach Sam McCown, alive and at peace coaching on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So we got a jam-packed lineup for you here on the program, and I want to give a shout-out to let's talk about Replenish IV Solutions. I just went to their location in South Tampa and say hello to Stephen and Lisa Gunnan over at Replenish IV Solutions. I go once a month and I get hooked up with the vitamin infusion drip, all the good vitamins into my body, boosting my immunity. ReplenishIVSolutions.com. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on those special offers and incentives. All right, we got a couple of hot new listings here from the Platinum MVP team as well. We've got a property at 501 Haven Boulevard. This is number 803. It's a condo on the 8th story. Just a beautiful view overlooking the Gulf of Mexico and the marina here. 2 bedrooms, 2 bath. You have flexible office space, 1,500 square feet from this beautiful condo in Palmetto, Florida, Manatee County. Panoramic views overlooking the Manatee River as well as the marina. Hurricane impact windows, beautiful property. They have a heated pool on site, climate control storage, parking under the building. 501 Haven Boulevard, unit number 803. Another one of our hot real estate listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. That one is just listed. 3864 50th Avenue South in St. Petersburg. This is a St. Petersburg renovation property, completely remodeled, 2-car garage, 1,659 square feet. You have a beautiful backsplash as well in the kitchen, stainless steel appliances, lighter color scheme, and an island in the kitchen. You're only a block away from the recently renovated Maximo Marina and famous Tiki Docks. 3864 50th Avenue South, St. Petersburg, Florida. And you can see all of our real estate listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
Try that in a small town.
All right, we got Mike Murphy in the house. Welcome back, sir.
Great to be back. Thank you for having me.
Hey, my pleasure. Absolutely, man. You've been watching a little sports. I know you're a big Miami fan. And
oh, yeah.
Staying up with the
football
Bucks.
season's in full tilt, so
Yeah.
I'm like an addict that just relapsed. I can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
I'm watching the Monday night games. Tuesday night, apparently, there's college football. I did not know that.
Wow.
Thursday, obviously. But, shout out to the Bucks. I think we'd all agree we're surpassing expectations.
Yeah. What are we, 4-2 now?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the 2 games we lost, they just made us one-dimensional, and we couldn't run the ball. So then it's up to Baker to throw on every down, and that never
Expected.
really works, right?
Yeah, they expect it. They're
Yeah.
looking for it. What about the Rays? It's been a while since we spoke. The Rays.
Oh, man. What a great start.
Yeah.
And the injury bug really hurt us bad.
Yeah.
But it's a new year already in my mind because 90-plus days, pitchers and catchers already report.
There you go.
So on to next season.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Wander situation is unfortunate. I don't know if we'll ever see him in a Rays uniform again.
Yeah.
I sure hope so. I think everybody deserves a second chance, but I don't know the complexity of the issues, right?
Yeah.
And we'll leave it at that, unfortunately.
Yeah, behind-the-scenes stuff going on there. So, Mike, you own a auto dealership, multiple auto dealerships throughout the Southeast U.S., and you kind of keep your ear to the ground for us. You're our auto industry expert. What's new in the auto industry? What are you seeing?
Well, it's interesting. We were thinking we had a return to normalcy of new vehicle inventory, and for most of my brands, Toyota, Nissan, Infiniti, we have. But this UAW issue is causing a unique shutdown across not only the sales side of domestic manufacturers, but also on the the fixed operations. It's really hard to get a part right now. It's harder to get a part than it is a truck.
Wow.
in the CDJR world.
It's interesting you said about car parts, because I saw one of these billboards that said "Pool your own auto parts store." Now, I guess where you're again, it's kind of the theme that we talked about before the show too. With the more humans involved, the more costly your business is, the more litigious your business is, right? So it's one of these billboards about, yeah, if you need auto parts, go in and we'll pull your parts for you. I guess it's a new kind of a model for auto parts. But since you talked about the auto workers strike, here's a pull. Information I pulled off of LinkedIn. It just says, according to the president, Sean Fain, the UAW president, it enters a new phase in the fight. It looks like they have idled about 34,000 workers. And then it goes on to talk about how they expanded its strike to Ford's largest facility, a Louisville plant whose sales account for a quarter of the company's global revenue. Ford is temporarily laying off around 700 workers who built the all-electric F-150 Lightning. So yeah, this is something that could push more the auto workers, other businesses into more of an automation, robotic type setup.
Absolutely. When you ask for a 40% raise and you want your working week to be gone from 40 to 32, so a 20% reduction, 40% raise, work 20% less time.
Yeah.
All you're doing is making it easier for upper and senior management to rationalize replacing you with a robot.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just real talk. It's unfortunate. You cannot do that with UPS, who got a 40% wage increase to all their workers, because somebody's got to drive the vehicles, knock on the door, make sure the porch pirates stay away and all that fun stuff.
Right.
But when it comes to installation of parts, we have to be very careful that we don't unionize ourselves out of jobs.
Yeah. And I think that's what they're doing. I think it's a push from the left to try to do that. I think they're causing, they want to cause chaos in whatever way they could possible. And I got a quick clip I'm going to play here about my president talking about
Our
it.
great auto worker death march. They're killing the auto workers by forcing the electric cars. They're killing the auto. You're not going to have any auto workers. I went to Michigan 2 weeks ago. I said, listen, don't worry about what you're getting per hour. That's not your problem. Your problem is you're not going to have a job in 2 years if they accept these mandates for electric cars. But so much more make Crooked Joe a total disaster for.
So anyways, yeah, he goes on to talk about, how he's leading in the polls. But, if they continue this push for electric vehicles and those parts are all made in China, or 90% plus made in China. What's your thoughts about EV? And I'm not saying, hey, let's go away from it completely. I mean, I think if people want to have an EV, great, you can have one, but don't mandate it.
Agreed. So first off, I didn't get to hear that beforehand. What a perfect segue.
Right.
I don't always agree with Trump, but when I agree with Trump, we both look great.
There you go.
But truly, he's 100% right on. You will end up without a job. Now, here's the interesting parts. When you go to an EV vehicle, there's a lot less parts, there's a lot less installations. I want you to think of an EV vehicle like a skateboard. The bottom of the skateboard is your battery, and then they build the frame of a car on top of it. So that is a real issue. There's a lot less pieces, a lot less things that could go, in theory, wrong, but there's a lot less redundancy. Like, once the battery dies, you're stuck wherever you're stuck, right? Where the car can kind of putter and use 4 cylinders of the A to get you to a gas station to provide safety for you and your family. But as a somewhat libertarian Purple Party guy, I think the free market has the right to choose. And if EVs were flying off my shelf, I would probably want more of them.
Yeah.
The fact is that when we think of what burdens car dealers, right now the number one is this interest rate increase, the cost of borrowing our floor plan.
Yeah.
So our floor plan, we want to turn every vehicle every 60 days. So every new vehicle should be there no longer than a 2-month birthday. Our EVs are taking over 120, in some cases 160 days to sell. Nobody wants these things.
Wow.
Breaking news. No one bought a Tesla because it was EV. Most people bought a Tesla because it was a status symbol, because it was fast, because they're really fun to drive.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll give yourself whiplash in a Tesla.
It's kind of cool. I mean, it was the thing. It was in vogue. It was cool. I don't know how much it still is, or
Well, it's fading a little bit.
Well, I think also, too, when you talk about Elon, I mean, what an interesting character, too. I mean, on one side, he's saving, free speech with Twitter and things that are X now that he's done. But, he's still, he's manufacturing a lot of his stuff in China.
True.
Know? I mean,
True.
There's so many different sides to that character, but...
well, I think Elon truly reminds me of Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Like, he's the mad scientist that has all these great ideas.
Yeah.
But you can see of all his companies where he spends his time. I was like this a couple years ago in business, to all of our entrepreneurs listening. Like, you don't want to be the smartest person in the room as a leader.
You're right.
I'd rather have 3 Elons that could, recreate the Big Bang Theory or a black hole or something and make me look smart than for me to consistently solve other people's problems. I think he gets stuck solving his own company's problems because he's so smart.
Yeah.
He's got to kind of resist that temptation sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you look at SpaceX, it's getting all of his attention. Obviously, the war in Ukraine has been significantly positively benefited from one man named Elon with Starlink.
Yeah, Starlink, yeah.
But now that takes time away from Tesla.
Yeah.
But full disclosure, I got a Plaid. I think it's awesome. It truly is a sub 2-second, 60-second car. The steering wheel kind of falls apart, and you get little cosmetic issues. But we have to understand, in my opinion, Tesla is a tech company that sells cars. It's not a car company with technology.
Yeah.
But just one more thing on the EVs. Very interesting about EVs is when these things get into accidents, they get totaled at a very high rate.
Wow.
So when we started thinking total cost of ownership, EVs might actually drive up insurance costs.
Right.
Because what used to be a fender bender and a $4,000 claim can now be a $100,000 claim if your Tesla is totaled because you rear-ended somebody at 20 miles an hour.
Wow. Yeah, and they're very expensive to replace. So
Yep.
we're talking with Mike Murphy here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner Murphy Auto Group here in not only in Tampa Bay, but also throughout the Southeast, multiple dealerships. So it's good to catch up on these different industry. And going back to the Tesla thing, I think somewhat they have a loss leader in a sense where they're able to reduce pricing, right? So they're able to reduce pricing because they're getting some government subsidies. And then as a side note, too, part two to that of that whole scenario, with what he's doing with X, now the government's coming after him for, what was it, illegal hiring practices or something? He didn't hire enough illegals or something along the line?
Yeah, I didn't know there was a quota.
Exactly.
I don't know if we're at our quota at Murphy Auto Group. We'd like to hire American citizens. I think they have a little bit better work ethic on average. But that's amazing to me. That's like Trump's whole issue in New York. I didn't know that if there was a victimless issue where you filled out a piece of paper wrong, you can,
the valuation
be taken over. And there's no world that exists that Mar-a-Lago is worth $18 million. I'll offer 30x that right now.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's
truly,
unbelievable.
right? I mean, it's $1 billion piece of property. Anyway,
it's a witch hunt.
Let's talk about something really cool, if you don't mind. I'm really excited about the fact that we purchased this Infinity dealership, Miracle Infinity of Augusta. Although in Augusta, Georgia, we are able to now service all of Tampa, South Tampa. I see Infinities everywhere. These vehicles I drive when I'm in market are phenomenal.
Yeah.
The QX50 is fun. The cars are quick. They're like Skylines with an Infinity badge. So we have a cool offer. If you want an Infinity, all you have to do is go to mymiracleadvantage.com. And if you're a fan of the show or you're in Tampa Bay, I'll include hotel rooms in Augusta, and also after the day you buy it, golf on me. I belong to a private club in Augusta. No, not that one. But if I'm allowed to say it, we can kind of talk about it later. I want to get permission, but I'll include golf at a private club in Augusta, Georgia, and with a purchase of every Infinity. Again, if you're even remotely interested in a third-row SUV, the QX80 is by far the best option available.
Yeah, those are nice. My one of my good buddies has a truck like that, and we use it for. We went to, I think last year we went to a Florida State game. Nice, travel to Tallahassee for a long weekend or something. Yeah, you got to have that third row, and it works well with the kids. Let's take a quick break there. More with Mike Murphy, Murphy Auto Group here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at Brandon Rhymes 1 at CQB Show on Instagram, and of course subscribe to the YouTube channel. Over 2,300 plus videos there on our YouTube channel now. Brandon Rhymes Realty on YouTube. We'll be right back here, more with Mike Murphy on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
I want to give a special thanks to Satellite Phone Store. They just hooked me up with this beautiful satellite phone. And it's a gorgeous phone. It's a great device. It's a safety device as well. Think about it. If you're out on the boat 40, 50 miles out, maybe you're going hunting or you're going hiking in the woods somewhere, you run out of cell phone service, or who knows, maybe a possible terrorist attack. It's not like our politicians aren't entrenched in all this stuff going on overseas, all over the place, all over the world. Could be a terrorist attack. They could attack the power grid. They could attack the cell phones. Who knows what they're going to attack next. Sat123.com/REQB. Sat for satellite. Sat123.com/REQB, like real estate quarterback.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here in studio with Mike Murphy, Murphy Auto Group. A couple of hot listings for this segment. We got a price reduction on Bardmore Place, 13906 Bardmore Place, Unit B in Tampa. This is a Carrollwood condo, or townhome rather. Beautiful property. We just hit a price improvement, $20,000 price improvement. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, almost 2,100 square feet of living. Hurricane impact windows, beautiful brand new kitchen, updated stainless steel appliances, 5-person jacuzzi. You've got a fenced-in backyard with a golf course view. 13906 Bardmore Place, Unit B in Tampa. Also, we did a price reduction at 5146 Marine Parkway, one of our commercial listings here in Tampa Bay. This is a pool dealership currently operating as a pool store, pool and spa supply, 5146 Marine Parkway. You're about 1,000 feet from US 19, so you get about 40 to 50,000 vehicles a day passing by that intersection there. This is an exceptional store place. You got plenty of parking, well-maintained building, large windows that invite natural light in. Great opportunity for your business. You also have new condos being built right across the street, public transportation hubs, major roadways, of course. 5146 Marine Parkway, Newport Richey. And you can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
And yeah, I'm raising my glass to those saving our ass overseas.
All right, so we've got Mike Murphy in the house. Mike, we wanted to talk about, because there's a little known trick in the industry, not only real estate and mortgage, if you make that extra payment, it's called a biweekly mortgage payment. You can do the same thing in the auto industry, I hear.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the trick, right? If you don't like your interest rate, and nowadays who does, we at Murphy Auto Group strongly recommend that you take advantage of a biweekly payment program. It doesn't have to be ours. There's others we could recommend. We do have our own. Basically what you do is you make a half a payment every other week. Now, you go, Mike, there's 12 months out of the year. If I do that, I'll make 26 half payments. Well, that is true. You will make a 13th payment a year.
Yeah.
All that will go to principal. What is the benefit of that? It's going to shrink the term. You'll pay your house, or in this situation, your car off sooner.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's good news. Better news is you can lower your interest rate by doing this. Why? They calculate your annual interest rate down to a monthly interest rate, and that's based on borrowing a certain amount of money for an entire 30-day period. When you go 14 days and make a payment, you have stopped the collection of interest on that amount of principal. So you can see a significant rate reduction. What I love about this is if you go eventually to realmikemurphy.com, mymiracleadvantage.com, or murphyautomotivegroup.com, we have a biweekly payment calculator. So you scan the QR code, it takes you to a reputable third-party site that will help you compare and see the benefits. I know a 60-month payment, after your 53rd payment, you have paid your car off.
Yeah, absolutely. Its net effective interest rate is lower than whatever your note rate is because you're making that extra payment.
Correct.
Getting
and they
ahead
can't
of the
calculate the interest as long.
Right. I love it. And also, here's another debate. Retail versus leasing, right? So buying versus leasing.
What's interesting, right? Leasing is back, and it's back with a vengeance for two main reasons. When you're leasing a car, you're only leasing it over 3 years, so your interest rates can be as low as 2.9, 3.9%, which is unheard of rates nowadays. So that's nice. But what's equally as nice is the quality of the vehicle you're able to get. Because we're not making enough vehicles and the population's growing, the residual value, or the value of your vehicle once you're done leasing it, is at all-time highs. So that means the amount that you're renting or leasing over a period of time is down. So let me give you an example. I have customers right now that came in on Nissan Armadas. And I go, man, if we do a great deal and they finance 72 months and put $5,000 down, we're still over $1,000 a month in a payment, closer to $1,100.
Wow.
That's a lot of money right now for a family that needs a third row, and they're looking at Nissan.
Yep.
Okay, if I take them to the exact same vehicle, which is called a QX80 with Infinity, we have luxury finishes, luxury benefits, and a lease payment that's under $800 a month.
Wow.
So you're able to be in a luxury version for 2/3 of the cost of the kind of generic economy class. So sit in first class for 2/3 of the price of coach.
Yeah, I love it. That's a great idea, man. And that actually worked out in my favor. You had told me about it, I guess about a year ago or so. You're like, hey, you might want to check into because I have a lease on a Mercedes. And you said, check it out. And I went in and you were right on point. I was able to buy that vehicle and save money on the lease payment. And now I'm going to own it after I pay it off. So
absolutely. And that's for anybody, if you want the trick. If you leased a car before the COVID, before a pandemic, you probably have positive equity in your lease, which means you can buy it and pay your note off and still have excess cash. Yeah,
makes a lot of sense. We're talking with Mike Murphy here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. He's our auto industry expert contributor. If you've followed the show for a while now, we're on air for over 10 years, and the idea is bringing in all types of great different expert contributors. We have CPAs, financial advisors, attorneys. One of my good friends is a private pilot, talks about the auto industry, the airline industry, and private pilot, and also yachting and boating experts. So lots of different ways that we help you here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Everybody's on the site at consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors. I wanted to go back to you, Mike. Just final thoughts and other things happening out there.
Yeah. Hey, breaking news: Murphy Auto Group is not just for profit; we're for purpose also. So October is all about Cancer Awareness Month, where we've got a We Care discount of $1,000 for anybody battling cancer, anyone that's defeated cancer, or a caregiver, family member of anyone affected by cancer. I obviously lost my dad way too soon, so we will also be making a sizable donation of 5 figures per market to the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation. We at Murphy Auto Group want to kill the cancer that killed Dad, so why not us?
Yeah, that's right. And that's about your book, too. You've got a book that you've written, Denticisms.
That's right. Yeah, Denticisms still on sale in English and in Spanish on Amazon. 100% of the proceeds go back to the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation. Also, we're a faith-based organization, so as a Christian, I'm excited to see my dad again. So I took an opportunity to give his eulogy about his top 10 lessons in life.
Nice.
My book is his top 10 lessons, so get it and make a positive change.
That's pretty cool. What sticks out to you about that?
I think it's the simplicity. My dad played for the Dodgers right out of high school, so he didn't go to college. So a lot like the great coaches, they had a way to relate to people in sayings.
Yeah.
So denticism is really a quote, or probably most of the time a combination of 2 quotes from 2 great leaders.
Right.
And he made it his own.
Yeah.
So something as simple as, if it is to be, it is up to me.
Yeah.
10 simple 2-letter words that could change your life.
Personal responsibility.
Yeah, why be a victim? I'd rather be victorious. And it starts with waking up every day and claiming that victory.
Yeah. I like that, too. And when you think about, especially in sales, with our real estate industry being in a tough time right now, tough space, and something coaching my team, but, on that same line of what you just said is, if you wake up and you win the morning, if you do positive things in the morning, if you're making your sales calls, whatever it might be, you get that momentum for the day. So Absolutely. Win the morning, win the day.
There's a great book by retired Admiral William McRaven, and it's called Make Your Bed. And one of the tricks about the Navy SEALs is you make your bed every morning. 2 things can happen if you make your bed. 1, it sets you up on a path towards success. You've accomplished a task. You can continue to accomplish tasks throughout the day. And if you had a bad day, at least you come home to a made bed.
To a made bed. Yeah, I like that.
So
I've heard some people say, I don't tie my shoes when I'm done wearing them, so I'm not making my bed. I don't know. Just kind of a weird deal. Website.
Yeah. Easiest way to find the dealerships is mymiracleadvantage.com. If you want to learn more about me, please go to realmikemurphy.com. Of course, Instagram is realmikemurphy.com also. All of my teachings and educations are there for your use.
Awesome. Good stuff. Hey, thanks for the update, Mike. Appreciate that.
Humbled. Thank you.
Good stuff, man. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back more with George Natos, LBC Restaurant in Palm Harbor, manager here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Sam McCown as well. He's the executive coach, Sam McCown, Alive and at Peace Coaching, coming right up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals